Tina Jessen, owner of Tina's Traditional Teas, sounds like someone who's organized. You sound, to me, on the verge of being fastidious. Is that true?
No.
Oh.
Is that a surprise?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that have their own place, but like my office, my husband's always saying, I need to organize. And I do, I know where everything is, like
Well, they
you.
say cluttered desk, uncluttered mind, or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was off about that. I think some people are off too when they hear the phrase mince in little pie. They jump to conclusions about things.
Well, it's interesting because this recipe, mince meat, it dates back to like the medieval times.
Yeah.
At the times when we actually put meat into it, and we added all those lovely fruits, and it just helped preserve the meat, and that's how we ate it back then. It's only when I came to the States that I realized in some parts of the US they still put meat in mincemeat. Did you know that? I did not know that. So I'm learning all the time.
We thought we were beyond that at this point.
So I'm mince pies. They are the quintessential English festive pastry.
Well, and in terms of like presentation, because we talk a lot about presentation on Indie Style, and particularly in the age of social media, I like the fact that I've seen mincemeat pies with meat in them, not in quite a long time, but when you make the full size one, it's not quite as appealing to the eyes as, say, something like that looks cute and quaint.
I don't know. I mean, they can. I must admit, I like this version.
Sure.
And we do the stars. In fact, I've got this little cutter that I've had, gosh, over 20 years. It's got crinkle on one side, and then it's got this star on the other.
Oh, great.
So
2 for 1.
So exactly. So the base is made from the crinkle side, and the star from the other side. So I've got some homemade pastry here, which I kind of threw together last night because I realised I hadn't got any made. And this is just flour, butter, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and I'm just rolling this out. And you can actually buy pre-made pastry.
Sure. We don't judge people. It's busy. It's the holidays. But
this is what I do.
We also talk about people spending more time in their kitchens, trying new things, baking and cooking.
Baking has just gone ballistic, and it's one of the things that we're doing now at Tina's Traditional is we're doing virtual bake classes, and we're doing virtual bake mixers as well, which we're now shipping across the whole of the US.
That's terrific.
So that's one of the pivot things that we've done. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking those.
She said pivot. I didn't.
Yeah, sorry, that's not what we should use anymore, is it?
Well, it fits. Everybody knows what you mean now.
Yeah, I know. I think it's been done to death, but I think at the time when we needed to do it, we needed to do it. So I've made my own mincemeat as well. You don't have to make your own mincemeat.
What all is in that?
So this is basically lots of dried fruit. So I've got golden raisins, currants, cherries, a little bit of apple, and brandy. Because you can't do English Christmas or holiday time without alcohol, and it makes the fruit just plump up and is really
the way
yummy.
She says it sounds like a prescription.
Of course.
Must. Of course.
It absolutely must. So I've just done these 3 little ones here just to show you how we do it, and then I'm using these little star cutouts. Now, if you wanted it, we call these tarts, mince pies or mince tarts. If you wanted to make a full pie, then you'd make a full crust.
Sure.
But if you do this, your pastry goes a bit further, if you're being a little frugal. It's also a little bit less on the calorie, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
well, with social distancing and things like that, you don't have a bunch of people's hands on or near the same pie or things like that. You just put them on a plate, put them on a tray.
Yeah, that's right. And then these go in the oven at a high temperature, 400 degrees, for about 10 minutes. So they're really quick to make. And then we just put a little bit of icing sugar or confectioner sugar over the top, and it's just the taste of the season.
You could call them a snowflake.
They do look lovely, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So talk to me about your mixes that you have there.
So we've got a whole range of mixes. So when back in March, when the tea room had to close down, it was like, well, what can we do? How can we best serve? And we knew that people were starting to bake from home a lot more. So what we've done is we've taken all the favourites from the tea room and turned them into bake mixes.
Oh.
So we do everything from Victoria's sandwich cake through to Ashbourne gingerbread have been really popular over the season as well.
That's great.
And then we do these little bake classes virtually, which we call the Great British Bake Along, where you sign into the Zoom and you join me in the kitchen.
There you go.
And we bake along and we answer questions as you come up to issues, and you end up with a perfect
So if you know what you're doing, get yourself the baking kits and make it easy on yourself. If you don't know what you're doing, get them and
then join the class.
Join the Zoom, yeah. Tina'sTraditional.com. She's not going anywhere. We're sticking around. We're talking tea later, correct?
We are, absolutely.
All right. We'll
It's
put that link on
definitely tea time.
IndieStyle.tv. Amber?